Hi guys, I'm Adrian from OpenAI team, and today we are going to create a Discord bot using the OpenAI AskYoda feature. So what is AskYoda? AskYoda is a feature that empowers you to create your own chatbot with your own data. So this video will be separated in different parts. The first part will be the setup of the project. One part will be the Discord part, and one other will be the NNA AskYoda part. After that, we will create the program for this bot, and finally, we will see some improvements you can make to make the bot more sustainable, more efficient, as I can say. So let's firstly look into the structure of the project. So the project is really simple. We'll have the main file that contain the launch of the Discord bot that we will host on our computer. We will have also the Yoda file that will contain all the different calls to the API of OpenAI. And we will have the cogs file that will contain a file for each role that will be in the last part, but we will handle different stuff like commands, message, and that's all. That's it. And this is for the structure of the project. So let's take a look at the first part. So now that we have a look of the structure of the project, let's install the dependencies. So firstly, we're gonna install Nextcore. I made a mistake, but Nextcore is made to communicate with Discord. We're gonna also install request because we need to make some API calls, so we need to install these dependencies. And we are going to also install decouple to reach data stored in a .env file. A .env file will allow you to store sensitive data and reach them through the file. So let's create one. We are gonna store in this file the token of Discord. So create a new variable called token. I will create also one project OpenAI API key. That will allow us to store the API key of OpenAI, and I will also create one for the project ID that I will show you on AskYoda. Where is it? So now that you have created this, we're gonna going to the Discord platform. We are going to create a new bot, new application. So I name it AskYoda. In this platform, you can customize different things, but the main part that we are interested in is the bot section. We are going to click on refresh token. So we get a new token. We copy it and paste it into the token value here on a .env file. We are going also to enable all the intents we need for the product, and we are going to click on URL generator, click on bot and administrator. If you have serious knowledge about this, you can select the one you want, but I recommend you to use administrator. Copy and paste it, the link to a web browser, select your server. I don't have one, so I will create a new one now. I'll just create a basic one that will be much more easier. So now that I have created a new one, I will refresh the page. We'll see it's a new server, but I will refresh the page. Select the new one, click on the complete, authorize, and I'm a human. Perfect. Now we can check our server, and now we see AskYoda is invited to our server. So now that the bot is on our server, it's not finished yet because we need to put it up online. But before that, we're gonna create the OpenAI AskYoda product. So go to the OpenAI platform by clicking app.openai.run. Go to the workflow section, click on AskYoda, and create a new project. You can name it as you want and click on quick start for the moment. Create project. You can see the interface, you can upload your data, but the main part we're interested in is the ID. So I will copy it and paste it into my AdNI project ID. And I will also go back to the platform to get my API key into the homepage and copy it and paste it into my .env file. So now that we have set up all our .env values, we need to create our main file that will be main.py. So this file will be used to enable the bot and launch the bot. Firstly, we're gonna need to install Nextcore, import Nextcore. We are going to also need commands from nextcore.exe. And we are going to install and not install but import decouple, and we are specifically importing a config that will allow us to reach the value into the .env file. The first thing we are going to do is making a variable that will contain all our permission. So basically we're going to enable it as default. And that will be only the only thing we need for permission, but we will need just two more things to allow the bot to reach some members, to have information about members. So we will enable it by making the variable true, and also the message content to read the message. Now we can create our variable containing the bot, so it will be commands.bot, and we will put command prefix setting to the normal thing is exclamation mark, but we will also add the intents, so it will be intents equal to intents. Perfect. And now we are going to add a new decorator that will be at client.event. This will trigger when the bot is ready. So I think def on ready for sure. I made a mistake. Perfect. And this will be triggered when the bot is up. So I will make just a print in the terminal, like print the bot is up, for example. Now that we have set up this, we need to actually run the bot. So we need to use the method of commands.bot. It's client.run. And we passed into this method the token. So we will reach the token value in the .env by using config token. So it will we will get the value of token into the .env file. So now we run it. We can go to Discord and see the bot is online. So perfect, but we can't do anything because we didn't configure it to do something. We're gonna create a new folder that will be named cogs that contain all the different files for each role. We will create a new one that will be user.py. We're gonna import as the same as main.py. We're gonna import Nextcore. We are going also to import commands from nextcore.exe, and we are also gonna import our decouple stuff to reach the value into the .env. And firstly, we are going to create a new class that will be user, and this is a subclass of commands.cog, and it will be understood as an extension for the bot. So let's create our class commands.cog. Perfect. And now we're gonna basically we are going to just put self.client is equal to client. Oh, sorry, I missed into the init client. Perfect. Self.client is equal to client. And we are going to also create now a listener. So it will be commands.cog.listener, and it will be for the message. So now I'm going to create a new method. I think def on message. It will take in parameters itself, and it will also take message. And the first thing I need to do is to check if the message sent is not the bot himself, because if the bot send a message, it will make an infinite loop, because he will respond to himself, and himself he will send a message to respond himself to send a message, and again and again. So I will just return nothing. Now I have to I will do something just basic. I will just reply to the message hello. So I will await because it's asynchronous. So I will just await message dot reply, and I will only put maybe hello as value. So reply hello. Perfect. So now we can launch our bot to. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I need to do something before. I need to add this file currently to my client. So I need to create a new function that will be set up. It get as parameter client. Into this function, I will make client though that add cog. So we particularly specify that we want to add this class into the client. And I want to also import this file here by searching into the cogs file. So I will basically make an array to contain all these different files. So I will add create an array initial extension, an empty array or an empty list. I will also now map into my folder os that list dir. I precise my folder, it would be cogs. Sorry. And now I have to check after that my file name is a Python file, or it will maybe cause an error. So I check if the file name ends with py, and with .py, perfect. And if it's the case, we will append the file name to the initial extension, and we will append with cogs prefix, and we will remove the extension .py into this. So we will remove it by using a slice. That is all, and now we have to load the extension. So we will do on the start of the program. So if name is equal to main. Now we are going to map the initial extension list for extension in initial extension. Perfect. We are going for each one add to the client. So client dot load extension, the current extension, and now we can run our file, and I think we can check it into into our server, send a message hi, and it will respond me with hello, because I precise for each message respond hello. Now that we have this, it's not really accurate, because that's not what we want. If we ask anything, it will respond hello. So now we want to add the AskYoda feature. So now basically what we are going to do is to create a new file that will be yoda.py, yoda.py, and it will contain all the different calls to the API. So we will need to import a request. We'll also need to import decouple, import config, and that's it. I think we need to create a new class, or I will basically before that import the URL of this. So I will go to the documentation, copy the URL without the ID, copy it and paste it here, and we put it in bracket for sure, and we are going to add also the header. So the header is the same thing of the URL. You can find it into the documentation on the platform. We're just only gonna pass authorization, add behavior, because we need we already have the value. So paste it authorization, and as value we are going to put the behavior. So behavior, and we are gonna look for the API key we store in the .env file. So config ADNI, copy it. It will be much more easier, and paste it here. Perfect. So now we have the header of our request. We have the main URL for our request, but now we need to initialize our class, so def init, and we will initialize the class with the ID of the product, so self.id is equal to ID. We will also add the URL, the ID to the URL. So URL plus ID, perfect. And now we are going to create our first method. So it will be it will be AskLLM to ask anything to the LLM. So you can find the documentation on our website. But for us, we are just going to create this function, put itself and a question parameters. We're going to make a try catch, not try except, sorry, for this function, because we want to make sure to handle any error, any exception. So we will create our data for the request. It will be a payload. We will add our query. Query is the value we want to ask to the Discord bot, to the LLM, sorry. So we will put the question from the parameters. We will also need the provider. So we will put it into the value of LLM provider. You can find all different provider into the documentation on AskLLM. Oh, we can find the provider. Okay. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. The LLM is working with a text generation feature, so it will be the same providers as text generation. So we'll go to text generation. Oh, generation. Perfect. So now that I've reached the generation, I can see all different providers and models that will be available for my chatbot. So I will take it OpenAI, paste it here. Add also the model, LLM model. For this tutorial, you can use what you want, but for us, we're going to use GPT 3.5. GPT 3.5, and put it in bracket. And now that we have make our payload, we are going to request the endpoint. So it will be request.post. Pass the self.url at the endpoint. As we seen in the documentation, it's ask LLM. And we had the data, so payload, and we'll also add headers that we defined above. And now that we have the response, we are going to, if the response is okay, if the status code is 200, we are going to return the value. So it will be response dot text for the moment, and that's it, I think. We are going to take a look of what we are going to do. I'm just checking if I not made a mistake. Okay. We are going to now add ask the bot when the message is posted in the chat to make the ask LLM method. So I will make the results equal to we have before to define I made this because we can put status onto the typing of the bot, so it will be fake-like typing, so the user will know that the bot is considering his question. Now that we will assign a result as a result of the ask LLM method to the variable result. Why I can't autocomplete? Because I didn't define it. So self.yoda is equal to AskYoda. Oh, I missed the. Wait. Forget. I forget to import the AskYoda. So from Yoda import AskYoda, and AskYoda config and get the value. So the project ID. So copy here, copy it, and paste it into your config. So we'll get the value, and I will paste add for the ask LLM. We will pass the question, so message.content, and after we get the result, we will reply with the result. So it will be await message dot reply, and we will pass the result. Now we can try. Yeah, I can try. Oh, it raised an error. I forget to add except statements, so I will print the exception. So I will exception as e, yeah, and I will print it. So basically now we run it. We can go to Discord and type our question. Who are you? Hello. Oh, we didn't remove the hello. Oh, and it tells me I'm an AI to help you. Okay, perfect. So now that we have the result, we want to make it more clear, because we have a lot of JSON and it's not really clear. So we are just going to change the value of this result. So it will be in the Yoda file. So into the Yoda file, we're gonna remove this .text and put it .json. and get only the result of it. So, and now if I rerun it, who are you? Hello, or forget to remove it, but I'm Nia Digital, perfect. And what is AskYoda? Because we didn't feed them with some data, so it will not be normally able to answer us. What is AskYoda? So I don't know. Perfect. We could upload some data, so we will go to the AskYoda website, copy the URL, and paste it into content from URL. It will take a bit of time. Perfect. Now that we have some data stored, we can try to ask again the bot. And what is AskYoda? Tell me hello. And AskYoda is a platform that provides a set of API. Perfect. So now that we have look what is how to implement AskYoda into a Discord bot, we can now you can now implement it into yours. So now that we have implemented basically AskYoda, I will give you some tips to improve your bots. So firstly, Discord allow you to create some role. It's like a level of permission. So you go to the server settings, go to the role section, and you can create a new one. It will allow you to give some permission to the user to execute some commands, to make some change to the server, but also give him, so as I said, the opportunity to give him some commands that will maybe change the project AskYoda. So here I have an example for you. I have added a decorator next cohere./command. It will trigger when a user that have the AskYoda role add an URL to the project. So like in the platform, you can add a URL, but there is also an endpoint that I've added to the Yoda class here. It's the same as AskLLM, just with different payload and a different endpoint. So here I explain the code. So here, if the user have the AskYoda team in this in his role, he could add some URLs. Otherwise, we will respond with access unauthorized, so he won't be able to add URL. Here in the parameters, I added field URL because in this /command you will be able to provide a link you want to add. So basically, what is the opportunity to do this? You don't want maybe to give access to a lot of people into the AskYoda platform in OpenAI. So you can still give access to people to manage this platform through Discord. If you configure well your bot and add all the endpoints to as a /command. So that's the basics of what improvement you can make. So this is the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. You can still create an account by clicking the link below in the description section. And if you have any question regarding this tutorial, you can ask them for free into the comment section and or join our Discord server into the description section. Thank you and have a nice day.